Welcome to the final lesson. 11 lessons taught you the mechanics: units, sandboxing, C groups, timers, the journal. This one wires them into a practice. We'll walk through 4 pieces. A 30-line baseline unit where every directive earns its place. The dev to staging to prod checklist that catches problems before they page you. The 5-step incident playbook for when things break anyway. And the weekly routines that quietly compound into fleet-wide reliability. Before we build forward, look back. The curriculum moved through 4 stages. Foundations, where you learned why systemed exists and how a unit is shaped. Operations, where journals and timers became daily fluency. Advanced, where sandboxing, C groups, and socket activation made your services production grade. And finally, honest practice, where you learned when not to reach for systemed at all. Each stage earned the next. You're not collecting trivia. You're holding a connected craft. So here it is, 30 lines that carry every lesson you've earned. The unit and install sections from the foundations, the service mechanics from operations, the hardening block from Lesson 8, the resource limits from Lesson 9, and journal logging from Lesson 6. Notice the posture. Protections on by default, limits set by default, logging routed by default. You don't add safety later. You start safe, and you remove a guard only when you can name the reason. A clean unit file is only the beginning. Before users ever touch it, the service should pass through 3 gates: dev, staging, and prod. Dev is the easy part. Verify, reload, check status, read the journal. The real work happens in staging, where you score the security, reboot the box, kill the process on purpose, and let it soak for a day. That gate alone catches roughly 80% of what would otherwise wake you at 3 in the morning. But staging only buys you so much. Eventually, the page comes anyway, and at 3 in the morning, the difference between a senior and a junior is a playbook. 5 steps in order. Check the state, read the journal, ask whether it's resource or application, restart carefully, and then, the step almost everyone skips, write the postmortem the next day. 30 minutes of writing prevents the same fire next week. The services that keep burning are the ones whose incidents were fired and forgotten. And the postmortem habit scales into something larger. Weekly routines that compound. 30 minutes a week, split 4 ways. Monday, run systemed analyze security and add 1 hardening directive to your worst scoring unit. Wednesday, grep the journal for kills and ticket the repeat offenders. Friday, glance at system CTL, failed, that list should be empty, and once a month, run blame and critical chain, then fix the slowest boot bottleneck. Do this for a year and your boot time halves, your services harden themselves, and your on-call gets boring. Boring is the goal. And boring is also what makes you valuable. So take stock of the range you've built. You can read any unit file fluently, author services from scratch, debug a failed start in under 5 minutes, and query the journal like a database. You can replace cron with timers, harden to a measurable score, cap CPU and memory, and build socket and path-triggered architectures. Most importantly, you can pick the right tool and mentor someone else through the same path. Print this list. It's both a self-audit and an interview cheat sheet. But here's the deeper truth about what you actually learned. The system itself is maybe 30% of the value. The other 70 is 3 habits that will outlast the tool. First, read the docs that ship with the OS, not blog posts. Man pages are authoritative. Blogs go stale. Second, measure before you optimize or harden. Memory max without CG top is guesswork. Instrument first, intervene second. And third, boring tools used well beat exciting tools used badly. Glamour is the enemy of reliability, and trusted operators compound far beyond any specific tool. So here's the cheat sheet. 12 commands that cover 95% of the work. Is it alive? System CTL status. Why did it fail? Journal CTL with the unit and an error priority. Apply changes, daemon reload, then restart. Survive reboot, enable, now. The rest, timers, paths, sockets, security scoring, CG top, blame, failed, audit. These are your daily verbs. Print this, pin it. In 6 months you won't need it. In a year you'll be the one explaining it. Knowing the commands isn't the same as having shipped. So here are 3 Capstone challenges to prove it to yourself. First, build one production service from scratch, hardened to a security score above 8, with C group limits measured from real baselines. Second, migrate a real cron job to a timer, and make sure the new version is easier to debug than the old one. Third, run the weekly routines for 12 weeks and write down the numbers. 2 weekends and a quarter of discipline. That's a portfolio no certification can match. Beyond the technical work, 5 habits separate engineers who know systems from the ones their team trusts at 3 in the morning. Stopping at the dev laptop, avoiding the man pages, building without measuring, skipping the runbook, and treating systems as the destination rather than a vehicle for deeper principles. Each one is a judgment failure, not a knowledge gap, which means the fix is a habit, repeated quietly until it becomes the default. So, you graduated. 12 lessons covering foundations, operations, advanced patterns, and honest practice. But the certificate isn't the point. The point is the next 12 weeks and the 12 after that, where you take these defaults into real systems and ship work that's quiet enough nobody notices it. The Sorazad ends here. The senior practice begins now. Go build boring, reliable systems.